Hey Gemini, what's up gang? Hope everybody is well. We're gonna go ahead and look into what you need to know, okay? Messages from Spirit pretty much. If that's something that interests you, do stick around. Gemini, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jessica. Please take a look at my description box. That will have all the information that you would need to know. And yes, this is a Gemini channel. However, if you vibe your tribe, so go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Gemini, if you're returning, welcome back. I hope that you're well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I do hope that you're doing what's best for you, boo. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Gemini, thank you for all the good vibes. It really does mean the world, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and hop right into this. We're going to do an animal message first. I'm feeling the vibes of the animal deck. We have the feather that came out for your intuitive message. It feels to me like Spirit wants you to pay attention to the signs right now. It feels like Spirit wants me to relay that message, like pay attention to the signs, pay attention to, the synchronicities, right? The coincidences, because we know that there are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, right? There are no accidents. So there's something here with that. I also feel like your guides could be trying to speak to you right now. You could be finding feathers or finding little things like keys or coins, or there's something about a bell too, maybe hearing a bell or finding a bell or something like that, okay? There's something there like that, okay? Let's keep it moving like Susan though, because I got a lot of things to do today, okay? Shout out to that lady. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Animal message, please. Animal message for Gemini gang, for what they need to know moving forward. Oh, that's going to be too many for me. One, please. Animal message for, okay, we have the lamb, okay? The lamb is vulnerability and it's sacrificial type of energy, okay? So Gemini, maybe you have made a lot of sacrifices. Maybe you feel like, you've sacrificed for the greater good, perhaps, in your life. Some of you guys could feel like you're a target too. You could feel like a lot of people take advantage of you, or a lot of people take advantage of your kindness, your sweetness, your innocence. Not like innocence as in you've never done anything wrong, but innocence as in you have positive intentions. You don't try to hurt people, or you don't have the intention of taking advantage of people, but those people might turn around and have that intention towards you. So there could be something where maybe you feel a little bit exposed right now. You know how I feel about animals that stare us dead on? It's like a target, and this one for sure, right? Because the lamb kind of has that reputation of being a little bit of a target, being a little bit of like, again, a sacrificial lamb. But this is talking about innocence, and it's talking about purity and sensitivity and childlike energy. Some of you guys maybe are being guided to reconnect with your inner child here. To allow yourself to enjoy life and have fun, go out, meet new people, dance, sing, go see new things, right? Maybe express your creativity, maybe write or paint, draw, whatever you like to do, your creative passions. Maybe you like to quilt or knit or do clay work or something like that. But there could be something here about, touching base with your inner child here. I'm also getting like a psychic sensitivity that's coming through with this lamb. I don't think that's what this card talks about, but it's coming through. Like somebody could feel very exposed right now psychically. Like maybe you are an empath, and so you pick up other people's emotions and feelings, and maybe the emotions and feelings of the world, right? And it's hard for you to shut it off right now. There is a lot of crazy things that are happening in our world right now, not just in my country, but in every country. There's a lot of things going on. So maybe you're just feeling everything at once, and it can be a little overwhelming, okay? Okay, let me find the earth energy. And let me find the lamb. Okay. So the lamb says peaceful, prophetic, and patient. The lamb is the bearer of an important message. Its contents can only be heard when a deep level of quiet has been established. Lamb energy is the honest guidance you hear from an old friend or a young child, or sometimes a surprising stranger. Though the lamb's message may channel through another person, the wisdom resonates within you. It will repeat and reverberate until you listen. Approach this gentle creature with the utmost patience and reverence. Truth is a gift. Sit still, listen, and receive. When in balance, a knowingness and inner peace. When out of balance, quiet, timid, and concerned. To bring into balance, meditation and listening. Interesting. And that's so funny because we have the feather, and I felt very strongly that your guides are trying to send you a message right now. So maybe Spirit is asking you to listen. Maybe Spirit is asking you to turn off the noise in a sense and pay attention to what's coming through, what your higher guidance is. Maybe there's an energy of sitting in prayer or sitting in meditation, listening to what Spirit has to say to you. I also feel like, again, that's funny that I mentioned prophetic. It doesn't necessarily come through in the bigger message, but it is here. There's a sense of an inner knowing, or like your intuition speaking to you. I do feel like you're getting some kind of truth, or you're getting some kind of clarity right now. That's what Spirit wants you to know, and Spirit wants you to honor the truth, right? Truth is a gift, and it's true. Take a shot every time she says true. But it is true. Truth is a gift. Because oftentimes people hide behind masks, and they try to avoid, and they try to, they don't want to be vulnerable, right? And like I said, with the Lamb, there's an energy here of being very exposed. So maybe the truth has been exposed in a situation, and Spirit is, or maybe it will be, and Spirit is asking you to be grateful for that truth, because truth it's rare, right? There's also something here about a message that's coming through from the divine that's going to reverberate until you listen. So it's going to keep coming back around. You're going to keep getting the same message. You're going to keep having the same dream. You're going to, maybe even in tarot readings, if you watch multiple readers, it's like you're getting the same message everywhere you go. And you're like, whoa, are y'all all saying the same thing? It's like, no, you're being drawn towards messages that are repeating because you're not listening, or you're not paying attention, or there's something that Spirit's trying to convey here. You could also get surprising advice or guidance from a source that you're not expecting. So this could be like you're at the grocery store and suddenly you strike up a conversation with somebody and they tell you exactly what you need to hear. Like they give you the guidance, they give you the clarity or the message. It could come from a very surprising circumstance that you get this guidance or this advice or this truth or clarity here, okay? Yeah, but there is something here about that, like a message is coming through. And it feels like it is coming from the divine. Obviously, this could be a physical message, guys, but it does feel very spiritual so far in this reading. So it feels like a message is coming through the divine, and Spirit wants you to pay attention, wants you to listen to the message that's coming in. Okay, what deck do I want to use? I was kind of feeling the urge to use this deck when I first started, so I think I'll follow that, because it feels like it's going to be one of those types of messages. All right, so what are we doing? Like, what reading are we doing? Yeah, what do you need to know? What do you need to know? That's what it is, right? What do you need to know? What does Gemini need to know, Spirit? What does Gemini need to know, please? What does Gemini need to know? I don't know why, but a black car could be significant. They're showing me a black car. Okay. I don't know. What does Gemini need to know, please? What does Gemini need to know, Spirit? What do you want them to know? Oh, that was a lot that came out. What do you need Gemini to know, please? We have the Goddess of Shadows. What you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. It's interesting because with the Lamb here, I feel like the Lamb is extremely underestimated, right? Like there's this energy here of people maybe pitying the Lamb. Oh gosh, look at you, you delicate little soft lamb. So emotional, so vulnerable, right? So like on the chopping block, right? But I feel like there's something here where Spirit wants you to really revel here in your more sensitive nature that you have. Not everybody has that. Maybe you are a truth speaker, Gemini. Maybe you are somebody who has the ability to be honest, has the ability to be direct and be vulnerable and speak your truth where others would avoid and mask and shield, right? And try to deny. You're somebody that's like, no, I'm going to speak the truth even if my voice shakes, okay? But there's something here where Spirit wants you to honor your more sensitive side. I feel like there's a feeling here of you feeling like maybe your sensitivities have been a curse before, like this empathy that you feel or this big heart that you have, or you know, again, that word sensitive keeps coming through. Maybe you felt like this has gotten you into trouble, or it's caused more trouble than good in your life. But what you perceive to be a weakness, what you perceive to be a dark side that you have, what you perceive as something that, you know, is weak in this world, right? Because this world, it's a dog-eat-dog world. People can be very rough. People can, you know, chew up somebody like this and spit them out, right? And maybe you've perceived this to be something that is a weakness or it's a hindrance to you. But what Spirit is saying is actually this is a hidden treasure. This is one of your greatest blessings, is your sensitivity or is your psychic abilities. It's your empath. It's your empathy, excuse me. It's your heart. That is one of your greatest treasures, you know? And it's rare too. It's giving the energy like not a lot of people are like you. And we saw that anyways with the lamb, right? Because the message said that the truth is a gift because it's rare. And so there's something here where it's like, no matter how people take you, or no matter how your truth is received, or how your sensitivity, your heart, your love is received, Gemini, doesn't mean that it should be a reflection of you, or it doesn't mean that it should reflect back to you what you need to change or what you need to fix. I get a strong energy here of Spirit saying that you are great just as you are. In fact, you're a hidden treasure in this world, you know? And so don't dim your light, or don't stop being who you are. It's a very strong message coming through, okay? Don't stop being who you are, basically. Okay. We have the Angel of Abundance. A steady flow of abundance is about to manifest. Ooh, Gemini. We like to see it. Bottom of the deck, we have the Angel of Clearing. Your time of waiting and confusion will soon be over. It's giving me the energy of like maybe there's been some stagnation, or there's been some delays when it comes to your finances, or to your, maybe your abundance, something that you've been trying to create, build, progress in regards to. There's been possibly delays, or there's been maybe confusion. Like maybe you haven't been sure if you're on the right path, or this is the path, or what do I do? Am I going in the right direction? Spirit is saying that you're soon going to be manifesting some kind of abundance. It's coming in, and they're saying a godsend. So it feels like it is something that is much needed. And I'm also getting the energy of your guides, your angels really stepping in to bring this to you. And this is going to be a steady flow, whatever this abundance is. Of course, it could be other things. It doesn't just have to be finance. Abundance comes in many, many ways. But whatever it is, whatever the abundance is, take it as it resonates. It feels like it's going to continue to flow. It's something that's going to be very strong and steady, and something that you can depend on. And if you've had any kind of confusion here, right? Like, I don't know, why is this happening, or why isn't this happening, or what direction do I go, or whatever, that confusion is about to be cleared up. And that could definitely be directed to this lamb. There could be guidance, advice, or clarity, or truth that comes in that helps clear up this confusion and helps this abundance flow, okay? So that's that. Too much. One more, Spirit, one more. One more for Gemini gang for what they need to know. One more. We have the God of Reflections. It says the qualities that you see in others are simply your own reflection. And I feel like that is empathy, right? Because empathy is the ability to step into somebody else's shoes and understand their plight, to understand what they're going through. It's different than sympathy, right? Sympathy is I'm on the outside and I'm looking down at you and I feel sorry for you. I sympathize with your plight. I sympathize with that you have to go through this, right? But empathy is I understand your plight because I can feel it. I've been there too, right? Or I can understand how that would feel. And I feel like you have a lot of empathy, Gemini, because you've been through a lot. So you can empathize easily with others. You can look at somebody in their situation and you can see the layers behind the person, and you can see the motivations behind the actions, or the feeling behind the decisions or the actions, and you can understand. So some of you guys, your empathy could just be on like 100 right now. It's kind of feeling like that, and you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Some of you guys might need to create, bubbles of light to protect yourself, or maybe you need to spend some time journaling or writing down your feelings or something like that, okay? So there could be something here where maybe you're looking at somebody in particular right now with the God of Reflections, and you're seeing similar qualities. You're seeing like how they feel or what they're going through. You too have gone through that, or you too feel that way. And there's a kindred energy there, because it's like an understanding, right? It's like finding somebody in the masses and being like, oh, wow, we actually have a lot in common, or we actually, think the same, feel the same, or we've experienced the same. This could really help you with some kind of humanitarian work that you do, or if you are of service to other people, like especially if you're like a therapist, a counselor, a life coach, maybe you're a reader for some of you guys, or you work with people, you help people, maybe you do some kind of like community outreach or something like that. It's like, it really helps you, people appreciate when people can relate, like it's hard to feel acceptance or understanding when somebody is sitting across from you with that sympathy energy, with that energy of like, well, I've never been there. I've never been broke as a joke who ain't got no smoke, but I could, I feel sorry for you, right? I feel bad. But it's different when you're sitting across from somebody who's like, oh my gosh, yes, I was homeless for 2 years of my life, or I kept losing jobs, I kept losing people, I kept going through things. I completely understand what you're going through. I understand how you feel. And this is how I help myself climb out of the pit. You know, there's value in that. And I feel like there's something here where that's what Spirit wants you to know, like the things that you have gone through, the struggles that you have faced. I feel very emotional. It makes me feel like I want to cry for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel so emotional. It makes me feel like everything that you've been through, it has not been for nothing. And you could feel very exposed or very vulnerable or feel like a weirdo, you know, in this world. Like nobody's like me. Nobody gets it. Nobody understands. Nobody's, you know, people are so mean or people are so like full of ego or whatever. But there are other people like you, Gemini. Okay, there are. And what you've been through has not been for nothing. It's not a waste. It's so you can help others, which is a great blessing in my personal opinion. So yeah, there's something there with that. Bottom of the deck, we have the Angel of the Universe. You are being encouraged to expand your thinking. Yeah, and especially with this God of Reflections, if there is a particular person that you're seeing a kindred energy or reflective energy, like, oh wow, I went through that too, or oh wow, I feel that way too. Spirit is asking you to think outside of the box or expand your perspective, right? To not be chained. I always look at this card. She looks like she has like a chain around her neck. It reminds me of like a shackle or something. And I don't know. I'm just getting the energy of Spirit wanting somebody to expand their thinking or wanting somebody to expand their perspective on a situation or on a person or on why they are the way that they are, you know? Because it's easy to play the victim in this world, guys. Oh my gosh, the world gives you a million reasons before lunchtime of why you could play the victim, why everything's out to get you, you know? But there's something here where you're meant to be empowered, Gemini, and you're meant to empower other people. And so even though life sometimes can hand you circumstances or situations that might easily cause you to slip into victim mode, Spirit wants you to slip into victor mode, okay? Be the victor of your situations. Look at all this blue. There's something about that too. Blue could be somebody's favorite color, or maybe you are blue, okay? And you live in a blue house with a blue world and a blue car. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to sing the song. But that could be something here, okay? There's a lot of blue. Angel of Soul Love. Time to look at how you value yourself, issues of self-love. Yeah, because I do feel like you've looked at how sensitive you are, how receptive or giving or loving you are as like a curse, or like it's a weakness. It's not good. Because while I'm out here acting like a fool, opening up my heart and being vulnerable, people aren't going to meet me there. You know, people aren't going to do that. But it's almost like when we say in the spiritual community, like, don't give to receive. There's something with that, guys. Like, you know, don't be vulnerable expecting other people to be vulnerable with you, right? Don't speak the truth only because you're hoping somebody else will speak the truth back. Speak the truth because that's what feels right. Be vulnerable because that's who you are. Love because that's what you do, right? It's like, not everybody's always going to meet you where you're at, and that's okay. It's a tough reality of life, but, you know. Anyways, whew, this reading feels emotional. Is there anything else from this deck before we put it up? We're not going to keep it, but is there anything else, Spirit, that you want Gemini gang to know? Okay. This had came out before with a big chunk that I didn't keep, so obviously it was a message that meant to come out. It says, the goddess of the earth, an idea connected to imagination and creativity. Creativity in nature is coming your way. Maybe you guys have been feeling very like bridled, right? When we look at her, she's tied to this tree. It's almost like there's an energy here of feeling like you're not able to express yourself in a creative way, or you're not able to be authentic. With this tree always makes me feel like restrictions in regards to tradition, family, community standards, right? Society, and what they expect of you. Maybe some of you guys feel like you're not really able to go after the things that you want to, or be authentic, or express yourself creatively because of how other people will take that or receive that. Now, I know that Geminis we are a zodiac sign that really does not care what other people think, and I understand that. But there are times where we have to fall in line. There are times where just, you know, we have to play the game of humans or whatever. Or, you know, it's harder when you're talking about families too, something that's very rooted in and you know, you're bound by a cultural tradition or something, right? So this could very well be like, you know, you're in the middle of the Bible Belt and everybody around you is Christian and very Christian, and it's like, this is the only way, right? But yet you feel a call to, I don't know, being like maybe a natural witch, like maybe you feel like being Wiccan, or, you know, you are Wiccan or something, and you have to keep that secret because you'll literally be outcasted from your family, from your community. You know, people will make you the topic of their discussion at the dinner table, and you don't want that kind of energy, especially if you're empathic, because when people are talking about you or people have negative energies, you pick up on it and it makes you uncomfortable. And so maybe you feel like, I can't really be who I am. For some reason, that song from Mulan is coming through. When will my reflection show who I am inside? Like, so yeah, some of you guys, you feel differently inside than what you present outside. And it might be because of some kind of family tradition. But Spirit is saying that there might be an opportunity for you to break free from this moving forward, right? It says an idea connected to imagination, creativity, and nature is coming your way. So there could be something that's going to be happening. Maybe that's the advice you're going to get from somebody. Maybe somebody's going to give a solid, homespun, sitting on the porch, you know, advice that they're going to tell you, and you're going to be like, dang, I don't know why I never thought of it that way, you know? Or with this God of reflections, maybe you're going to see somebody out there living their truth, living their authenticity, and it's going to empower you to feel like you can. Or maybe this is what you do for others. I don't know, guys. Take it as it resonates. Let's get one more. One more from this deck before we move on, Spirit. Thank you. Oh, wow. How did I know? I figured that card was going to come out, because didn't I say it? Spirit doesn't want you to change who you are. Spirit wants you to stay exactly as you are, because I'm getting the energy of like, Spirit's like, I like you as you are. That's why I created you that way. If I wanted you to walk differently, talk differently, look differently, act differently, believe differently, love differently, right? I would have created you in a different way. I created you the way that I created you because I like it. The goddess of beauty, you are a wondrous being of light. There's nothing to change or fix. And I always look at her body language. She has her arms crossed around her. Her eyes are really sad. It's like she's been judged a lot for who she is. She never really felt like she was able to be her true self. In fact, when I look at this, it actually does look like she's crying. I never noticed that before. I don't know if you guys can see, but she has like little tears coming down. Also, there's something around her throat chakra making me feel like maybe she hasn't been able to express her truth in the ways that she wants to. Some of you guys just, yeah, that's the vibe of this reading, guys. But Spirit is saying that there's nothing that you need to change. There's nothing that you need to fix. You are who you are, and it's beautiful. You are a wondrous being of light. You don't need to be harder or more stoic or more avoidant or more, you know, whatever. You don't need to fit in with everybody else. You're meant to stand out. And yes, standing out can make you a target, right? The lamb. Okay? But that's just what it is. I'm actually going to keep this out here. Well, we'll put it here, because that's a very strong message coming through that I feel like somebody needs to hear. You are wonderful just the way you are. There's nothing that you need to change. There's nothing that you need to fix. You don't need to try to fit in. Be who you are. Okay, let's get some clarity out here with tarot. For some reason, I've been reaching for the Light Seers tarot today. I don't know why, but I have been. Usually I'm like, you know, about that everyday witch life. Okay, so Goddess of the Shadows, what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. What is this talking about? And this might just be confirming less clarity. I find that sometimes my readings are like that. I kind of get the message the first time and Spirit just confirms. What is this Goddess of Shadows? Five of Swords. Yeah, you've been stressing about something here, right? The Five of Swords, for me personally, is when we're in the analysis paralysis, because fives talk about change and they talk about conflict and the chaos behind that change, and sometimes the fear behind that change. The Five of Swords is you wanting to be able to change your thinking, or wanting to be able to make a choice, perhaps, too. Justice, Libra energy on the bottom of the deck. I feel like you want to do what's right. I feel like there's a liberation or a freedom energy that you want to, like you want to be liberated from something, you know? And these crows in this deck, I mean, you know, they give me the energy of like, maybe you have negative influences in your ear. This could just be your own mind. You know, some of you guys could definitely be overthinkers. I know, right? Gemini, an overthinker. Like, who'd have thunk that? But for some of you, you could definitely overthink to the point of where you talk yourself out of things, or you don't know what's real anymore, you know? These are the inner demons that we all have to face, you know? is trusting ourselves, trusting our light, trusting our heart, trusting our intuition above the noise and the chatter that's going to be in our brain. Because not every single thought that comes through your brain is valid, you know? So it's like, what's worth listening to and what's not worth listening to. This could also be an outside influence here, you know? This could be somebody who's in your ear squawking, maybe filling you with a lot of negative energy or a lot of pessimism or something like that. Ooh, oh my gosh, I swear I just felt like a weird pokey feeling on my shoulder. So maybe somebody's like poking at you like, hey, you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. And you know, there could be something like that. I just also feel like you guys might feel a little like just, I don't know, with the Goddess of Shadows, like what you perceive to be your dark side holds hidden treasures. Like, you know, you want to be able to feel balanced and feel like you're karmically just or you're karmically correct. You're doing things the way that you're supposed to. There's stress about something here. Five of Swords can also talk about maybe feeling like it's a lose-lose type of situation. Like whether I do this or whether I don't do this, I'm going to lose. I don't know how much I believe that, but then again, I don't know y'all's personal situations, so I can't really say one way or the other that you're wrong or you're right. Two of Cups here. Maybe you want to be on the same page with yourself. Maybe you want to be on the same page with another person. You are the sign of the twins, so I can see the Two of Cups very often as you being in harmony and balance with yourself, especially with the Justice energy. But I could easily see this as you wanting to be on the same page with others or with a person. Maybe you feel misunderstood too. Like, this person don't get me. They don't understand me. That could be a projection, guys. I'm just saying, but you never know. I don't know, right? Let's keep moving, guys. Give me something else for this Goddess of Shadows, please. That is what it is. Yes, it's the Goddess of Shadows. We have the King of Swords coming out. Yeah, there's a lot of overthinking here. I'm hearing I'm just too damaged. I'm just too broken. Somebody, geez Louise, y'all, this is a heavy reading. Somebody might feel like they're just too damaged or they're just too broken or they have too many flaws or, you know, they do more harm than they do good or something like that, okay? There's a lot of overthinking, especially with the Five of Cups, because the Five of Cups is kind of like a sad energy, you know? Somebody who thinks about things over and over and over again, they ruminate and it just drains their life force, you know? Stuck on the things that haven't worked out instead of seeing that Spirit is offering you something really good, you know? Or there's another way or something like that. It is that energy here because we see that, right? What you perceive to be your dark side. So there is an energy of looking at something like maybe you're the problem or there's a negative energy here, but actually Spirit's saying there's hidden treasures, which we see, right? There's hidden treasures here. Somebody has been stuck in their sadness for maybe longer than they should have been. Like, we all go through dark periods. We all go through sadness, but, you know, it's not a boulder that you're meant to tie to you and drag with you on the rest of your journey. It's something that you're meant to climb over and think back to it as like I overcame that, you know? So maybe there's depression or something here. Let me get some of my coffee, guys. Yeah, there could be depression here. I do feel like you're on the way out, though. You're starting to see something in a clearer way. The King of Swords, he's the last card in the sword suit. So he's come down to a final conclusion, a final decision. He knows his truth. He's taken a lot of time to reflect and think about it, too. And this, of course, 5 swords plus the King of Swords is 6 swords, a silhouette. That's that energy like I'm moving forward. I'm not going to let myself be in this analysis paralysis anymore. I'm going to move to smoother waters. Your clarity is coming. There's a more positive mindset that's going to happen here. Somebody needs to grab control of their mind, though, for sure. You know, practice mindful thinking. When you're thinking of something and you're thinking of negative things or you're ruminating or whatever, it's time to like reel it back in. Think of something positive. Think of something that you have to be grateful for. You know, there's something in every day to be grateful for. You just gotta search for it. Okay. That's too much, but the Strength with the Queen of Wands, Leo energy could be significant. I feel like somebody is going to find some kind of vitality or rebirth, a passionate awakening of their energy again, because there's something that's been dim, or maybe you've been feeling judged or something. What is this Angel of Abundance here for Gemini gang, for what they need to know, Spirit? This Angel of Abundance. 10 of Swords. Wanting to come out reverse. Some of you guys have been just really going through it is what it feels like. Honestly, like this feels like somebody who's going through it. It feels like somebody who you're coming to the end of a very long road of maybe feeling like there is no abundant energy, or I have to take what I'm given and be happy with it. There's something like that here with this Ten of Swords, you know? Maybe some of you guys have been afraid to be happy or afraid to get excited about things with the Nine of Wands. You know, this is a fearful avoidant card for me, but it's one of feeling burnt out, stressed, burdened, like what's next, what now, what's going to happen now. She has a, you know, albeit it's not a very strong barrier, but it is one. And so there could be something here where you're afraid to hope for newness or hope for something that can be abundant. Again, there's all these crows. There's a lot of like dark thoughts and dark negative thoughts. Not that crows represent that. I feel like sometimes I come off as like a crow hater. I'm not. It's just for me in particular, I have different animals that mean different things for me. And crows can mean foreboding or negative thoughts, negative energy. It can be bird bitch energy for me. And even though I do love crows and I love their caw, that's why I have them in the beginning of my daily short, because I feel like crows bring messages. But in this deck, the crows do come across a little bit like negative, you know, and how they're kind of dispersing away from her. It's like you're coming to the end of this dark tunnel, guys. You're starting to see the light. You're starting to see that maybe there can be abundance. Maybe there can be positive energy here. Maybe things can balance themselves out, or there can be a sense of fairness within a situation. So I do feel like you're at the end of this tunnel, but it's been heavy, guys, is what it's feeling like. Maybe some of you guys have lost something recently with the Ten of Swords, maybe connected to your abundance, and this has been a big blow, and it's been making you feel like, you know, like, yeah, I knew I shouldn't have gotten too excited about that. You know, I knew I shouldn't have gotten too comfortable with that. Yeah, Knight of Wands, I'm seeing a shift, and it's a severe shift in the energy here with the Knight of Wands. The Ten of Swords and Knight of Wands is like completely different energy, right? I feel like you're going to be moving into this abundant energy, and it's going to be very quick. Like it's like that is the energy I'm getting. I'm hearing turning on a dime, so I don't know what that's talking about. I feel like for some of you guys, you are invoking some kind of magical energy, or some kind of magic is being activated within you guys. And this is going to lead to abundance. There could be unexpected opportunities that are going to be heading your way too with the Knight of Wands. You might have to face your fear, step out of your comfort zone a little bit here with this, but you know, it's going to be something that's going to make you feel very creative or very passionate. I also feel like for those of you who feel like you've lost something here with the Ten of Swords and the abundance, this was actually like you became free, like you were freed from something here, you know, because I can't help but keep looking back to these crows and how they're like dispersing away from her. It's like whatever you were involved in before, maybe it was heavy. Maybe it was something that was very heavy on you, you know, and now you're free. And so now it's like true movement or growth or passion, you know, creativity, happiness, joy. Don't she look like she's celebrating, banging on her drum there and all that? It makes me feel like there's something here where it's like now we're free to move forward. We're free to find abundance, find happiness, or relish in the unexpected opportunities that come our way, where before we were very stifled or heavy. So if things are heavy right now, Spirit is saying that it's about to change. It's about to shift. That's what I'm getting, guys. What is this God of reflections here for Gemini gang? Qualities you see in others are simply your own reflection. We have the Seven of Wands. And we have the Hermit, Virgo energy. I feel like for some of you guys, there is that empathy, right? That's what I was talking about before, that feeling everybody's emotions, feeling everything, feeling the whole world, and it being a lot sometimes, you know? And maybe you have had to learn to discern the energy over here of like, what is my emotion versus what's somebody else's emotion? Or when I go into like a busy space, like a crowded space, you know, feeling that anxiety or that pressure. If you know, you know, right? And being able to kind of shield yourself or protect yourself, put yourself in a bubble of light. I do feel like some of you guys find comfort in the silence. You find comfort in the seclusion. You know, maybe you feel like Spirit's voice is louder that way. There's also, this is not for everybody, but this is for somebody. This could even be somebody's energy attached to you. So please take it as it resonates. I feel like there's somebody who's been very defensive too about seeing negative energies reflected back to them, right? So when people are mirrors, everybody's a mirror, right? So when somebody treats you like you're not worth shit, it's really because deep down inside, they don't feel like they're worth anything. You know, sometimes we project our insecurities onto others. And so there could be something here where somebody, the way she's looking away and she's like, you know, she's like got the meditative stance going on and all these wands are coming at her and she's like, nope, not going to look at it. It's almost like somebody wanted to not see their own less desirable traits or like, you know, their own problems, the things that they bring to the table that aren't great, how they contribute sometimes to the problems. It's like somebody didn't want to see that, but almost like with Hermit, because Hermit is spirit for me, there's like an energy here of not being able to not see it anymore. And this is actually incredibly healing. It can be painful and it can be uncomfortable to see that maybe sometimes you're the problem, or maybe sometimes you cause issues, or you don't always handle things in the healthiest way. Like that's not the greatest feeling, but it's actually freeing and it's healing, you know? And so there could have been somebody who was like trying to portray like, nope, I'm zen, I'm fine, this doesn't affect me, I'm not the problem, it's everybody else. They're always the ones that are causing problems. It's not me. But it's like, there's a need to, like with the reflection, there's a reflection that we can't avoid anymore. Like we have to see that, yes, sometimes we are the issue, or sometimes we do contribute. And I feel like Spirit's coming through very strongly right now. Like, it's not about who's the problem and who's not the problem. It's about human situations and navigating through those and processing trauma, processing pain, right? Growing and evolving. It's a journey, you know? And so again, that's what's coming through here with this goddess of beauty. There's nothing you need to change or fix. It's just like you're just evolving and growing, but you are who you are in every stage. Spirit is saying that you're beautiful in every stage. What else do we have here for this God of reflections here? We have the Lovers, Gemini. There's your card, okay? Coming out. Yeah, maybe somebody has been back and forth when it comes to you, Gemini. Maybe somebody's been back and forth about what this is, or if you are a soulmate, if you are a true lover. Maybe you've been back and forth within yourself. And like, again, there's something there with that. Like, what you're experiencing, if you're connected to somebody, if you're connected to a soulmate here with the Lovers energy, guys, it's like what you're experiencing, that person is experiencing too. They might be experiencing it in a different way. They might be processing it in a different way, right? Because we all at the end of the day are individuals. However, I do feel like there is a mirroring energy that's going on here, you know? And so, yeah, there's something like that. There's also an energy of like coming from opposite worlds. Like they look completely different, right? Like they are, obviously. Plus she has the sign of Sagittarius on her shoulder, which is our zodiac opposite. And so there could be somebody who is different than you. Like you guys are different, but there's also a kindred energy. Like you're the same inside. Maybe you're different on the outside, or maybe you're different in your cultural upbringing or something, right? But like inside you're the same. And that's that energy of the reflection of seeing the qualities in yourself, seeing it in other people. Maybe there was some resistance to admitting that with the Seven of Wands. Maybe because of what it would mean. Spirit is really calling for love, right? Love of yourself, love of others right now. An understanding, a compassionate energy, right? It's funny because we've talked about sympathy, we've talked about empathy, and we've talked about compassion. Compassion is wanting to help another person because of the empathy or the sympathy that you're feeling, right? So maybe you have a lot of compassion, Gemini. Ooh, my neck is hurting suddenly too. Maybe you guys feel like something is a pain in the neck, or maybe somebody is a pain in the neck. Maybe you're a pain in the neck. Maybe your neck hurts every day. I don't know. That could also just be me too, because I have chronic neck pain. So I can't exactly say that that's truly a sign, but if it resonates, it resonates. Let's move on from this reading. This reading has been a little emo. Okay. Oh, okay. We have the White Owl. It says the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. Yes, what Spirit is saying with this card is like, you already know. Everything is within you. Your intuition is within you. The messages I'm trying to give you, they've been received. They're within you already. You know the truth, or you know. Like, you know. There's something there with that. Like, you know. I don't know. All right, what else do we have here? What else do we have here for Gemini? Okay. Ooh, the goose. I saw a whole field of these the other day. I was like, do we even get these kind of geese here? But it's like, we obviously do because your eyes are seeing them. Like, you know, but I was like, because I was driving by and I was like, but I didn't even think that they came down here. I don't know, but I saw them. So I was like, so that's got to be them. But then I was questioning myself, like, was that really them though? Or was it a goose that maybe looks strikingly similar? I don't know, you know, because I'm not an aficionado with geese. But shout out to my Canadian friends. But there could be something here where maybe you see a bird and you're like, is that bird supposed to be here? I don't know. That could be for somebody. But it says your dreams and desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today. Okay? What else do we have here for Gemini gang? We have the flicker. New rhythms are coming into your life now. You're being encouraged to trust and adapt. So it's interesting because it's like the newness that's coming into your life. We see that with the abundance, right? It might be out of your comfort zone or it might be a little scary, but you're being encouraged to trust and adapt to the changes that it's going to bring. Whoa, whoa. We have the white eagle. The connection to the divine guidance is within you. I love how these are kind of repeating cards in a sense, right? The wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. It's within you. It's within you, basically. Gemini, okay? What else do we have here for Gemini gang? One more, please. One more. One more. And we have the white swan. There's something about white. There's something about white. I don't know. The power of the divine grace is within you, okay? Take this reading as it resonates, guys. It wasn't a reading I was expecting, but then again, I try not to come into these readings with expectations. But I do hope it helps, hope it resonates, hope it does something. And I'll definitely see you guys on the next one. Bye.